Okay, when you can get enough people to believe in you, that's great. Believing in yourself is the ultimate key, but when you can have people sit and say, look, I believe you, okay? And we can go here again, and I trust you, okay? I trust you. I believe in you, okay? Just got paid, signed up a customer, $2,000. Customer signed up. Why is that light there? Okay, so 2,000 signed up to hire me directly. Definitely pay the price, no matter what it is. If you ever bought something because it's cheap, it's just because it's cheap. And that's like the main reason why you buy it. So pay close attention to the things that you buy, right? There are so many fake gurus out there that are just taking your money. And a lot of these online gurus are doing that, right? And you have to pay close attention to the mechanisms they're using to captivate your attention. And YouTube, I notice it's an attention whore mechanism where people will flash off things that you get because their marketing is based upon solely psychology and not actually offering value and creating a solution for you. It's surprisingly true. And most of the marketing that's going on is just basically convincing people that they need to do something. I'm never going to convince anyone that they need anything. I'm never going to push. And that's the problem with advertising. When you're advertising, you're pulling people in, or you're chasing after people. You're chasing after an audience, trying to pull them in. And our business is just basically intercepting people that are already genuinely interested, and now they're shopping and they're doing research. And so it's more transparent. Our company is about transparency. Although we're not going to show you everything that we do, it's not necessary or appropriate. But what we will show you are the most important things that you need to understand. So if you're considering hiring a company, you're most likely going to choose us if you want the value and quality service, because that's our mission statement, right? If you're looking for a company that's going to repair your credit and build it and remove these negative items off fast, then basically we're the company to choose. Why? Because if you look at our channel, you can just scroll down, go to the video section, and just go all throughout the years. I think one of my oldest videos was 6 years ago, and we showed you I removed a bankruptcy in 6 days. You can go ahead and click. I'm going to leave a link in the description, a video to that video. And you might say, oh, okay, well, it's a 6-year-old video. One guy came on here and was like, oh, that was 6 years ago. I'm like, well, here's the thing. For low IQ people like you, it's good to know that someone can continue to get the results and has gotten results for a long period of time. That's consistency. LeBron James didn't just win championship 1 year. No champion. Floyd Mayweather didn't just beat one champion. He beat many, and he's undefeated. So that's why he can be called TBE. I'm not comparing myself to any of those people. But what I am saying is that you're going to have to understand who has a track record and who doesn't. And what I've noticed on YouTube is in the credit repair section, because this is essentially a credit repair channel. I don't know, people come on here for credit repair, although I'm posting up different content. Maybe this channel would evolve, I plan to evolve it into other things because there's more benefits I can, I can offer you guys a lot more help than just credit. My own thoughts, my own mindset, because I had to go through a lot of struggles to get where I'm at today. It wasn't easy. I don't come from any rich family, but I believe I'm very privileged, and I believe the majority of humanity and society as an American citizen, you're very privileged to be an American, just to be in America. Lots of immigrants migrated, including my father. My father is Vietnamese. He immigrated from the Vietnam War. The communists took over and stole land from my grandfather, executed him, and family completely changed. He had to come here. He had to change his paperwork to come here. That's not the only immigrant story that you may hear of. But if you're, I guess black, your family went through slavery. If you're white, you probably live in a trailer park. I don't know. I'm being, stereotypical to be funny here, but at the end of the day, like, doesn't matter. We're all fucked up, right? We're all messed up. But the moment you sit here and think that you're special is when you are going to meet your demise. So it's good to know that we're all privileged and we have social media not just to entertain us, right? So when you go on YouTube and you're looking for a credit repair guy or something like this, or these people that say that they could fix credit, like I'll give you one example, Credit Coach Q, who I guess is a big top guy. He's definitely a fake, just like a lot of them, like Real Estate Trapper, like all these other people. These people that pop up on my feed and leave comments from anonymous channels and stuff like that and try to take my information. How do I know this? Because I can track that information. I'm very smart. And I know when someone's copying, it's actually not even that hard to do. It's like when I post a video saying these specific things and then some dipshit like Marvin comes on here with his little fake glasses and big freaking lips and repeats everything that I said. The fucking second I do it, the day I do it, right? He copied. That's what YouTube is. They call it copywriting for a reason because everyone's copying off each other, okay? Pinnacle Credit, we don't copy. When I started this business, I've maintained a level of integrity and values that I will not compromise. And that has made this business difficult to grow because you have a choice. If you look at Lexington Law, creditrepair.com, Sky Blue, Ovation Credit, Lexington Law wrote the blueprint for all of those little guys to come on board. I don't know where you guys been, but that's basically it. If you look at their reviews, if you look at their marketing, they all do it. The only thing different they do is one person leaves it the price a little bit different, but that's the advertised price. You don't know what will happen until you get on the phone with them, and that sales rep is going to talk down the price to get you to pull in. But any business owner that reduces their price as a means to get a customer in is really losing their integrity because you're essentially bribing the person to join your program based upon price but not value. And that's something that it's not congruent with what I believe in. And you could sit here and say, well, yeah, you're a profitable guy. You want to mark up your product high and rip people off, Andre, because what you can do, with a finger on, you can just type something on a computer screen and get it off. Yeah, you're right. But it's not as easy as doing that, okay? You saw the video where Sue, her name was Sue, a Korean lady, now a millionaire, very humble, sweet lady. We're gonna do a big deal with her. Remember the story of the Lamborghini? Yeah, that's intertwined with that. But anyway, don't want to get on a tangent here, but we cleaned her credit up in, I think, 2 days, a week, remove a BK off. And so you might think, oh yeah, this guy just types something on the computer and sends it to CFB, or he sends it to here and he has this link with TransUnion and he gets it all like that. So why should I pay him $2,000 like Ken did, or there's thousands of people that paid me this money to do this. And the reason why they do that, not because I asked them to, is because they pretty much forfeit. They forfeit, the money to me, they donate it, they contribute, they gift it to me to basically get a result for them. And it took a lot to get just even clients to get a testimony. And I never asked, for the majority, I don't really ask for reviews. There are people I can ask right now, like, could you leave me a review? And I'm thinking, I don't want to ask them that way, right? But it's not always true that just because you ask for a review, or if you don't ask, if they don't provide you a review, they don't like it. There's tons of people that won't leave a review. It's just because they don't want to write. They're not good at writing. Like, they think, what do I do? And like they're going to log in here and write this down. Then their kid comes and they're like, oh, I got to do it later. And then it goes on the tab and they forget it. So these are like the intricate details of just life in general. So you have to think like a scientist. A lot of you people are you judge things by the surface. You look at my channel and say, this guy has 35 views on this last video. Who the fuck is he? But you are associating views with actual value. That's arrogant, and it's not even intelligent. There are tons of individuals that are highly intelligent, highly credible, and they don't even have a YouTube channel, okay? There are internet marketers with tons of followers, tons of views, right? Like all these other people that I mentioned before, they hacked YouTube by buying attention. Okay? I have people that come to me, and you can legit buy subscribers. It's great. It's technically legit. It's not a bot. They are followers. They're real people, but they put you through a pool in the system, and they come periodically. But here's the thing: it's artificial. Okay, that's why if you look at the backlogs on my channel, my views are my watch time is pretty freaking solid, and I'm not posting that much, and I'm not doing a lot of camera work. This is it. I have a nice, mic and a nice camera here, a phone, and I do it. But they don't judge me based upon, my tee I got on, or that. They judge me based upon the content, right? But there's going to be people with a small attention span. They look at this video and like, oh, not entertaining. I don't like it. Or this guy's a cocky white guy. He's an enemy. This guy can get more pussy than me. I don't like him. That's the things that go through men's head, Like it's insane, Or maybe there's some feminists on here like, oh, this guy, he probably thinks he's the shit. Who gives a fuck what I think? What I think has nothing to do with your life, and what you think has nothing to do with my success. I'm going to be successful no matter what, because what I have found is that me just being who I am and not lying, just being perfectly imperfect, will get me enough what I need. And that's the problem, is everyone's shit stinks. Okay? It's just someone learned how to hide it better than others. So all those figures, those gurus that you may flock to, like PHB, Patrick Bet-David, Ty Lopez, and all those other guys that scammed other people. Forgot his name. He did this drop shipping thing. The curtain is unveiling the reality to you people, right? And we can go on and on about those people, but if you really analyze them, yeah, some are scams and some are not. They're just shysters. Like Grant Cardone, he's a shyster. And the most dangerous scammers are the ones that can get away with taking your money. Right? You think the scammers are the only people that are legally scammed in court? The law does not depict the essence of morality or common law. It gets started from Abrahamic tradition, from the Jesuits, from the Jews, from the Hebrews, from the Old Testament and the Bible, right? So from Babylon, the Codex, the Sumerian Codex, the first law, common law. You got to go back. Okay, the Quran is an equivalent and a parallel to the Bible. Right? If you studied history, religions and stuff like I have, studied all the major religions, and I've audited a lot of them, and interviewed a lot of people, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'll post some stuff about that. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to go back and understand where these laws come from. And these laws can perverse the essence of morality in the spirit of right and wrong, meaning like, don't fuck your boy's wife. She's married. And don't cheat on your wife. You have babies. It's like basic shit that people just don't get, right? Like, don't stab someone with a knife. Do not kill someone. Do not steal shit. Guess what? Don't touch shit that don't belong to you. Don't get a credit card if you know you can't fucking pay it off. All right? Don't. You're being desperate. Your mentality is being desperate. And that's one thing I can correlate to bad credit. Bad credit is not the cause. Well, it's often correlated to bad decision making, right? So, if you are desperate, if you're just thinking about like not being honest, you're going to default, right? You have to be honest with yourself and aware. And everyone makes mistakes, but don't give up. If you had a plan and you got a loan and things didn't work out, it's because you miscalculated. You thought you were certain. Business people, they assess risk. A credit score is just risk, your risk factor. What is my risk factor as opposed to your risk factor? What is this person's risk factor? I'm the bank, I have money, I got to think, is this guy going to lose my money or I'm going to make money off of him? That's all credit is, right? The bank has money. They make money to give it to you so they can make interest on it. That's how the game works. We all need banks. If you guys even want to be remotely successful, you're going to have to leverage money from the bank, because you and me don't have we don't print money, okay? All we do is allocate capital, meaning I get capital from you and I put it here. If I'm smart, I'm going to have a business where I take the money from my customers and allocate it into the building of this business to help more people. And that's from a transactional point. But to be a good businessman is to not just favor the mere transactions, right? It's actually to build the company, to stand by a mission, and to really provide value to the customer, and to build a culture. That's how a brand works. All these companies that's how our company is pretty big. Like if you just Google credit repair, best credit repair, fast credit repair, these are the most, prevalent key terms of people that want quality credit repair, right? Now, out of all that, you're going to see all the paid ads, right? People that are reaching out for your money. Most likely, people are going to choose them because they're lazy. Rich people with lots of money to spend money on ads, they know if they flash something in front of you long enough and make the price low enough, they know you will buy. You're giving in to your bias right there, right? You're giving in right there. You're buying into the bait. They got you. They won. And if they can get you, they can times that by 10,000 within one day, within a week, within a month, whatever. Okay, what's 10,000 times $99? It's a lot of money. And that is the psychological mechanism that Lexington Law, creditrepair.com, and all these big companies, they go by. They can't really stand on anything more than that. They've made the business mechanics very, very good. But, what are you paying for, right? Are you paying Lexington Law for how the customer service agent made you feel? Well, I'll tell you what, my customers don't give a shit about that. I'm not telling you, I'm not saying I'm a dick to my customers. Some people are assholes and I'm an asshole right back. Or at least I address their assholeology and I'm like, hey, we're done here. This is my boundaries. This is how I communicate. I'm not changing my boundaries. You've reached my boundaries. It's up to you to respect them or not. You're going to find that when you do that, that's going to piss some people off. People don't like the fact that you have boundaries. They don't respect that, okay? If you hire an individual, you have to treat them as an individual, not as some, machine. And I do the same for my clients. I don't just take on my client and pawn them off to a rep here. That's what Lexington Law is doing. There's no integrity behind their business. There's no micromanagement. There's no leadership. They're taking people's money and they just pawn it off to some guy doing some dumb shit, sending a letter. Oh, remove this, I demand it. Bop. Wasting your time. We don't do that here. That's why I have the option for you to hire me personally so you can understand what we're doing, right? Peace of mind is important in credit repair because people get pissed off when you don't, when you ignore them. That's the worst thing you could do. Never ignore a customer. Oh man, that's terrible. They'll make threats, all that. And I'm telling you based upon experience. In my earlier days, right? You have to let them know because the customer is always going to assume something bad, right? There are times where I'm working on a file and I get the result back that day and it's like all deleted and I'm like, I'll tell them later. That customer has already filed a complaint against me saying, hey, you didn't follow up with me. I'm like, but your stuff is deleted. And I post videos on my social media about that on my Instagram. I'm going to go on my archives because you know how Instagram, it saves your stories. On my Instagram, it's ruthless. Like I'm blatantly exposing the truth, whether people like it or not, okay? And I had a recent thing where one guy, you saw where the guy says, I believe you. Well, if you look up the conversation prior to that, He was talking some nonsense. He said the majority of the items were inquiries. I'm like, no, I fired back. I'm like, no, actually, if he was right, he would be right. Okay? I don't like being wrong, but if I'm wrong, I don't like being wrong, but that doesn't mean I can't be wrong. I'm usually not, but when I am wrong, I hate being wrong so much. So you best believe I do what I can not to be wrong. Before that, I'm already thinking ahead of you, bro. Before I take your money, before we sign you up, I'm thinking like everything that could go wrong, and I'm doing my best to prevent it, right? To basically provide you those results. That's why we don't really lose profit here, but we're not making millions, hundreds of millions, right? Because people, I vet them out. It's personalized business. Some people are dicks. They come up here like, oh, I want you to do this and that, and they just waste your time. And they don't even pay you what you're worth. And I don't want to deal with those people, right? And it goes down to the moral factor. We live in a capitalistic society, but I'm the type of businessman where I'm not prejudging you. Like I'm not judging you in a shallow sense, but in a more intellectual and a respectful sense. Like if I know someone is a narcissistic sociopath, like what's his name? We should roast some people. Like what's his name? What was his name? I forgot his name, but I'll make another video after this. That video will be dedicated to roasting people, okay? And exposing how, tough customers per se. But anyway, yeah, he was a sociopath, and you come across all walks of life. And so often you'll see in the bad reviews, pretty much like 90% of the people that leave me a bad review are all psychopaths, sociopaths. And you might say, oh, you're biased for saying that. Yeah, I am biased. But that just because I'm biased doesn't mean I'm wrong. Because if you look at the things that they have said and accused me of, and you look at their intention, right? Their intention is to take me down and destroy my business. I'm not going to do that. At the end of the day, Pinnacle is here to stay, right? I've already sold out the Pinnacle. I'm going to do this as much as I possibly can. I'm going to complete my goal. My goal is to make a statement in the credit repair space. I want to be up there. I want to dominate all the Google pages. I want to dominate all the third-party media, money.com. I want to be able to have the advertising spend that these companies have. And I want to be recognized. And I want enough rich people to send me offers to buy my company, and I would entertain the offer, right? When people begin to want to buy your company, that's when you know you're doing something right? And it's up to me to accept their offer or not. But I'm in this for the long run, and I hope to God that everything works well. When I say hope, my hope lies in the things that I know I can't control. I can't control the government. I can't control the market. There could be a law that like no more credit repair company. That's not going to happen. But they've regulated credit repair just like they've regulated marijuana, right? But these are my fears, right? But let's say if I get sued or things I can handle. I've gotten sued before, and I know how to handle those things, and I know how to prevent things from escalating, right? And in the game, everyone gets sued, but it really depends upon what you're getting sued. Like if you're doing, like I've never been sued for like crazy stuff, right? It's just simple stuff. Yeah, like nothing crazy. There's been disputes, and actually I could have, and they're like small claims. This is a dispute with a customer, one dick in California. And I could have gone to court, but I didn't. It was a small claims court, and I was traveling, and I didn't like the guy, and I was like, oh, whatever. And he got the best of me, but usually, like, we're pretty good at that, but it doesn't matter. Every business owner gets sued at one point, even if it's their fault or not their fault. But that doesn't mean when they get sued that they didn't do something wrong, right? So this case, that case, I've been sued. It was like $500, I think, less than $1,000 I was sued for, you know? And he claimed I didn't help him, but I actually did, and I have proof. But he was just so adamant on getting his money back because I hurt his ego. And so that's one thing about narcissistic sociopaths. If you really hurt their ego, they will go after you to get revenge. Like if you hurt my ego, you know what I mean? First of all, you know, everyone has an ego, but it's not the core of my being, all right? I have other values that are more important than me, right? That go beyond me, which motivate me every day. The appreciation of the nice text messages that I get from people shows me that there are good people in this world. I'm really appreciative of that. My staff is really sweet and nice. I don't have to babysit them. They were not really, well, they were experienced. I'm not going to say they were as good as me, definitely not. But when I looked at, because people from Lexington Law and Credit Saint, Credit Pros, you know, they want to work for me. They work for one credit repair company and they want to work for this credit repair company, and they get a job, and I've interviewed them and stuff like that. And yeah, so my staff, you know, when I look at their skills and I'm like, they're doing it. It's like every candidate I get, they're like, I know how they're doing it. They're doing the same thing. I test them. I give them a dummy file because I have a system called ACAT, and it can actually pretty much do everything. I can create like crazy scenarios, and I've pretty much used artificial intelligence to create pretty much all of the scenarios that I've seen in my experience, and pretty much it's like a reenactment, you know? It's like a reenactment of those things. And yeah, they're like doing the same shit, doing the letters, doing all this and that. And then I actually look on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, they're doing the same thing Lexington Law is. So that goes back to what I was saying. I'm getting on a rant here. Is that these people on YouTube, they don't really have credentials. You got to look at what they got. And if you're looking at their view count and you're already saying, oh, they're famous, so I must believe in them. You're no different than the village idiot in the, you know, the 1800s, or was it even like the 700s or whatever, 1300s, whatever, during the times of the Roman Catholic Church, where you just believe the clergy. You just believe blindly what they say because it's the word of God, but you don't, you know, you don't question. Like Galileo wanted to execute him because he said he opposed the Catholic Church's idea that the earth was the center of the universe. And he had a telescope, and he proved that that was not the case. But the clergy was like the authority. Your government is the authority. Remember, we're Americans. We don't live in a communist country. We can question. We have the right to question, to have an open format and discuss and debate, right? So you got to be thankful for that. Other countries, they can't. And I've traveled the world. And I haven't just been in America. Traveled the world. I know how it is. I've lived different places, and I know people from different places, right? And you would be so, I mean, you're lucky to live in America, trust me. We have our own problems here, but whatever. Back to what I was saying is that I don't believe in teaching credit repair. Why? Because unless it's a dedicated course, you're not really going to get good at it. And there's just so many other variables. I'd have to have a support team, and it's just like, no. Let the professionals handle it, right? You don't want to go to the mechanic learning how to become, I mean, if you really want to, if you want to be the credit repair guy and be like me, it's possible. You could be as good as me, but then you'll be a competitor, right? If I don't want to aid you in that course because it has no benefit to me. I'm just being real with you. You could say, I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. No, I am a wolf. I'm telling you, I'm not going to teach you shit. This is my business. I'm not going to stop you from doing your shit, but you motherfuckers don't come on my channel and copy my shit. How do I know this? Because I know. I know Andre can figure this stuff out, all right? I can figure a lot of this shit out. And these people are doing the same thing. They leave you one video, and you guys follow, and you guys sign up for this guy's stupid credit repair software stuff, and it's the same thing. Even Credit Versio, so stupid. They do the same. They're not doing anything. It's just like a little app where they prepare the forms, and then you mail it out. Who the fuck wants to do that? And they've given it so cheap, such a cheap price. If anything, if your product and service is cheap, then you get what you pay for, okay? You get what you pay for, right? You can compare a flip phone to an iPhone. Which is better? Which is a better camera? Which can you film good quality content? I paid a lot of money for this Samsung right now. It's a Samsung S23 Ultra, okay? I paid a lot of money. I forgot how much. Was it, I think it was like $1,000 for this, or 15, I don't know. I lost track, right? Because I have like 4 phones. And I paid a lot of money. Why? Because I knew I could film this video and I'm going to get a return on the investment. The video is already made from this camera. I've already paid for the phone. I've already made profit in that sense. And so in life, you get what you pay for. Don't steer away a price. If you see my price or anyone's, you don't have to sign up with me. How about that? I don't want you to sign up because I convinced you. Because if I convinced you, it's artificial. I want you to get off your butt and firmly believe. That's why I love my clients. When I take on a client, because they believe in their heart, in their soul, in their mind, they're convinced on 3 paradigms, on 3 levels, on 3 planes, that this is going to work. And that energy coincides, and then it gets things done from a logical, scientific, mathematical, and metaphysical level. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get all weird on you, but it just happens to work out that way. I don't know. So that's what I want you to believe in. So the only thing I could do is research. Just do your research. Don't just make a quick decision. I know you guys want to fix your credit yesterday, but take the time to do the research. Don't just sit here and be like, oh, this guy's famous, I'll believe in. Don't do that, because that's like me going to a super hot girl and thinking that she's an innocent, loyal woman because she looks the part, right? That's really naive, right? Then that woman would disrespect me and press my boundaries. And I would say in my mind, oh, because she's hot, I will let it slide. You know, we often compromise our values based upon our wants and desires. So you must be able to tame your desire. I know your need. You want to fix your credit. You can say, you're thinking in your mind, if I can make a decision today, I sign up, and you're thinking it's going to work. Then you have buyer's remorse. And then you drop out of the program. Then you come back here and you tell me your freaking story. Like so many people do that every day. Every time I answer the phone, it's the same thing. Yeah, I was with Lexington Law. Yeah, I was with this. I was with the company. And they didn't really do much. And it came back as verified. But it's like, and I just tell people, hey, okay, whatever. Yeah, sure. They're like, can you fix it? I'm like, try it, find out. I'm not going to try to sell you. Just watch the videos, right? So anyway, you guys be careful of these fakes out here, right? There's a lot of fakes. Don't attribute vanity metrics with actual competence, and don't attribute a cheap price to value. A cheap price means you get what you pay for. That's the truth. You get what you pay for. And if you don't like that, that's your problem. You need to make more money. That's the truth. And the reason why I say that is because I did the same thing. When I give you the example of the thing I'm holding in my hand right here. This is a DJI wireless mic set. There are other cheaper options, but I looked for the best one, and it's the best one. It's nice. It works good. Everything in this house is a multi-million-dollar house. It's fish tanks and stuff. There were cheap options. Like this tank is an acrylic something. I even forgot. I spent, I think $5,000 on this, maybe $10,000 on this stuff. But yeah, I mean, I could have gone the cheap route, right? This place is not cheap. I went the more expensive route, but it doesn't mean everything that's expensive is, it's going to give you back value. But generally, yeah, you have to hunt, you find deals and stuff like that. But quality. Don't pay what's unnecessary. But honestly, if you paid me $1,500 to $3,000 and I helped your score get to 700, but I didn't even help your score, because let's say I helped your score get to 750. What would be the value that you would get out of that if you just fuck it up 6 months later? And the reason why you mess things up, because people, they get things, but they don't know how to protect things. Okay, let me say this again. Remember this. Side note this. Screenshot, whatever you got to do. This is really important. Apply to all of your life. You guys get nice things. You get the asset, but then you don't focus on protecting that asset. Like you buy a home, but you didn't focus on protecting that home. It's like when I go to the gym, I get this body, get the six pack. I'm like, okay, I've achieved. I have arrived. I'm the man. I'm the shit. I did it. Then let me go eat a hamburger. Let me go eat this. Let me eat some potato chips. Let me watch Netflix and jack off, you know, and then you begin to deteriorate, you get complacent. It's a mindset, okay? So you have to be always proactive in your credit. And that's why I created this program, right? We're going to be friends. People text me, people are texting me right now, and that's how I work, right? So, I'm an open book on that regard. So you guys have to be proactive. It's not just about removing stuff off. Can you talk to Lexington Law? Can you talk to Sky Blue? Can you talk to credit repair like this? You're going to talk to a rep, and that rep follows a boss, and that boss has a manager, and that manager has another boss, and they follow the chain of command, and they have their little cheat sheet, and it's the manager defrauding his boss, which defrauding his boss, and the owner of that company defrauding the investors, giving them a bullshit fabricated status update of the company pro forma and all this. It's all a scam. When they build these companies, they're all a scam. A lot of them are. They're always bullshitting their investors. They get money from some guy that has a lot of money and bullshit to them, thinking that they can make something out of nothing, out of some money. You know? Research about it, right? And that's what they're doing to you. And you bought into the marketing, right? Don't buy it. Like, you're not buying credit repair. Even if you got 10% deleted off your credit, do you think 10% deletion is actually going to be impactful for you? You might as well literally not even pay for credit repair, especially if you can't afford it. What are you guys talking about? Oh, I don't have the money yet. Oh, by the way, that guy that paid me $2,000, that guy saved up money for that. Because when he called me, he was like, he told me, I thought he was going to sign, then he told me, yeah, I'm going to do it like next month. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Not that, I mean, it's just more or less annoying. It's not that I wanted to get the sale then, but it's not really about that. It's more or less, you know, doing what you say you're going to do. You know, because when I get a customer results and they send me referrals, yeah, there's some monetary value to that, but it's not just about that. It's really about him knowing in his heart, I helped him, right? Because when someone can believe in your product, remember, you might think I'm just ranting on, but no, everything's tied in together. And I'm going to close very soon in this video. When you can get a customer to really believe and know that it works because they did it, it worked for them. It's slow to do that. It's easy to get, like, you know, Patrick Bet-David, he gets all these people signed up and then they all fail and only a little bit because the management is taking all their resources and stuff like that and screwing them over. It's just like corporate, right? Yeah, life is a scam. Life is bullshit. Everyone is a bullshit artist. You have to treat them as if they're bullshitting you. And when you do that, you will know who to trust. So, good luck.